What's up guys, it's Lucas and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, scroll down, click the subscribe button, it really helps me out. All the social media stuff will be in the description. You'll have to forgive my voice, we're going through in North Carolina what I like to call the pollinating. So I've got super allergies right now, my face is all stuffed up and I'm on a whole bunch of allergy medicine because I sound like this. So today we're checking out one of the coolest overdrive pedals that I've ever had the pleasure of playing through. I say overdrive, it's kind of an overdrive slash distortion. But we're checking out the Vertex Effects Ultraphonix. So the Ultraphonix is an overdrive slash distortion that is designed kind of side by side and meant to mimic the sound of the Dumble Overdrive Special, which is kind of an iconic legendary amp. However, I can't give you a really honest comparison between that kind of amp and this pedal because I have never been able to play through a Dumble, or much less even hear one in person. So I can't really say whether or not it sounds like a Dumble. Well, what I can say is that it sounds awesome. So I'll throw pictures up on the screen here as we go through because this pedal is currently like dual locked to my pedal board, which is where it's going to stay for the rest of eternity because it sounds amazing. So I can show you the settings. But basically it has three controls. It has a control for volume, which is of course your overall master volume of the pedal. It has a filter control, which is very much like a tone control, but it's very specifically voiced in a very musical way, and we'll kind of get into that. And then it has, of course, a gain control, which is how much distortion the pedal is giving you. Okay, so let's talk about the signal chain that we're going to use here. It's going to be coming from my PV Valve King combo over in the corner there, which I have mic'd up with an SM57. The only thing I've done to that amp is I've changed the speaker to a Warehouse G12C/S, which is like kind of an American voiced speaker. It's a little higher wattage than the speaker that comes in there, and it just sounds a little nicer to me. So for the majority of this demo, we're going to be on the clean channel of the amp. Now, I do have the amp turned up loud enough that it's starting to break up a little bit, particularly if I use hotter pickups or humbuckers. So the clip you heard there in the beginning was using my Nuka-Cola themed Flying V here. This has got Planet Tone pickups in it. This is an Elite Pro in the bridge and Elite Classic in the neck, and it just sounds fantastic. It's a great sounding guitar. But we're going to go through and play with some different guitars and some different settings to hear what all the different sounds you can get out of the pedal. Okay, so we'll start with some lower output type pickups and work our way up to higher output pickups, and you can hear how the pedal responds to different input settings, different amounts of gain being hit in the front end. So to start here, we've got my Telecaster, which has got just the stock Mexican pickups in it, and it's got this beautiful roasted neck from Warmouth on it. And I'm going to play you just the clean sound of the amp first, so because this is a lower output guitar, it's still pretty clean. The only thing I've done here is I've added a little bit of reverb into the loop, and that is coming from Boss MS3, and it's just like a model of a spring reverb, but everything else is just the amp. Alright, now we have my Godin Summit Classic SG, which is a just kind of junior type guitar with a single P90. And this is of course a little hotter than the Tele pickup, so it's going to be pushing the front of the amp just a little bit, so it's a little bit less clean. guitar. Alright, now we're using my Greco EG800, which is a Les Paul type guitar. This one has Planet Tone pickups in it as well. This is a full throttle in the bridge and a 78 Pasadena in the neck, which is to date my favorite pickup set. So go check out Planet Tone. And so first the clean sound, which of course is a little bit less than clean now because this is it has a little bit of guts in the bridge pickup. So it's going to be kind of starting to push it a little bit. So here's something I think is really interesting. Up until this point, I have literally not changed anything on the pedal or the amp or anything else. So everything you've been hearing as far as tonal changes has just had to do with which guitar I'm playing. And I think that's a really cool and unique thing about a pedal. If you can find a setting that works for lots of different guitars and lots of different pickups, that's a really good pedal because it's really letting the sound of the instrument come through and be communicated in a nice way. So this pedal is one of those things that really, like, if you like that kind of tone, that sort of like bluesy, dumbly, fat kind of tone, you could just sort of leave this on all the time if you wanted to. It actually cleans up really nice too, which I'll go over too. Okay, so just for good measure, let's try a couple other things too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go from that same sound that we just had, and think of that kind of as like your rhythm type sound that you would use, you know, when you're just playing along with the band. And if you wanted like a real searing, singing sustain, you might kick the front end of it with something like a tube screamer. So what I'm going to do here is play with it just as we've been playing with it, and then I'll kick on my Ibanez TS-808 tube screamer, and then you can hear the difference between the two. Okay, so finally, let's try it in a little bit different capacity. I'm going to use the drive channel on the Valve King with all the controls set to noon except for the gain, which is set at about 8:30 or 9. It's pretty low, but it's starting to crunch. And then we'll use the Vertex Ultraphonix as an overdrive, so I'm going to turn the gain down substantially here on the pedal and just use kind of like the level to sort of kick the front end of the amp. And you can hear what that sounds like. So first without it. Alright, there you go. That's the Vertex Effects Ultraphonix Dumble Style Overdrive. It's a fantastic sounding overdrive, and what's really cool, I think, besides the fact that, like I said, you can just kind of set it in a good place that feels good, and it works for a lot of different guitars, a lot of different pickups and outputs and stuff, which is great. But I don't know how well it carries through on YouTube or how well it carry through in recording, but there is this omnipresent fatness with this pedal. Like, it just does something with the speaker and the power amp, and it just like rattles your rib cage, which is awesome. It's just the most musical, fat, glorious, thick, syrupy sounding, like every buzzword you could possibly think of. It is that. And for me, this is one of those pedals that, like, I didn't know I wanted this sound until I got a hold of it, and I was like, oh, how did I ever live without this? It's amazing. So highly, highly recommended. I will leave a link in the description where you can go check these out. Vertex is very cool. They're very easy to work with. Thanks to Hunter at Vertex for sending me this to check out. And I'm really looking forward to checking out some of their other stuff too. I'm particularly interested, I think, in the steel string, which is kind of more like a clean type thing. I'm really like a Strat guy at heart, so I would love to check that out as well. But anyway, until next time, I'll play you out with, I've got my Firebird here with the mini humbuckers, so you can just hear something a little bit different. But until next time, I hope this has been informative and enjoyable, and I will catch you later. Bye.